Hawk military helicopter collided over the Potomac River. The first question is whether either was off course. The plane, marked in blue, approached the airport from the south. The helicopter, marked in red, was flying along the river. The Trump administration says both were on a standard flight pattern. But right before the crash, air traffic control speaks to the helicopter, referring to it as Pat 25 and the plane as CRJ. This is the audio.
S25, CRJ in flight. S25, S25, CRJ.
In other words, the helicopter was being told to watch out. In another recording, we hear what appears to be the helicopter's pilot.
Aircraft in flight, press separation.
There's a question here about which aircraft is being referred to because, as we can see from the footage, there was another plane nearby. We don't know if the helicopter pilot had this plane in sight or the one he would collide with. Soon after, we hear air traffic control again.
I don't know if you caught earlier what happened, but there was a collision on the approach to 33. We're going to be shutting down operations for the indefinite future.
In the seconds before what had happened, wouldn't there have been an automated warning? Passenger aircraft in the US use what's called a collision avoidance system. One expert, though, told the BBC the system's warnings can be inhibited when an aircraft's at low altitude. Lastly, would we expect planes and helicopters to share airspace in Washington? We definitely would. Ronald Reagan National Airport has one of the busiest runways in the US. It's just 5 miles from the White House. There's a huge amount of military and civilian flights in a relatively small area. Some aspects of the moments before this disaster were not unusual, but something went terribly wrong. Why did this helicopter and plane collide? That question still requires an answer.